They said I had to read from the script. They just never specified how to do it. This turned to be a little longer than I thought it would be. I'd throw a too long didn't read at the bottom. English is my first language, and I'm typing on a computer. So let me have it if I screw up. Oh, okay, he's like, if I'm writing like shit, let me know. Yes! It was April of 2010. For the United States, that means it's time for the census to be done. And for the whole country, this was also right after the time I signed a contract with the military and would be going to basic training in the fall. I had a guaranteed job for the next 6 years, and all I had to do was keep myself busy until September. So I picked up a call center job. They paid well because it was for the census and because it was temporary. The job was basically answering phone calls from people who had questions about the census. During training, they harped on the fact that we were not allowed to speak or use any word outside of the provided script. It was a very, very big deal to them. It's normal, by the way. You want for everyone to have the exact same information. You know, like something very, very stable. And you don't want to affect the point of view of what the people are going to write. So I managed to keep my professional attitude for 10 days. 10 days of reading the same 8 to 9 script over and over again for 10 hours a day. God, I was so bored. And because I honest to God didn't need this no future having job, I decided to help alleviate myself of this mind-numbing boredom. And then you go off script. Cue malicious compliance, an impromptu sociology experiment. You see, I did what I was told. I read from the script, only from the script, nothing but the script. But I also don't want to brag or anything, but I had always been pretty okay with a different accent. Got me in a lot of trouble in high school, but that was about to pay off. Full disclaimer, I love all of those different culture. Let's say culture. I don't like the idea of saying like races. All the humans are from the same race, okay? Like, stop thinking because you don't have the same color scheme, you do not share the same race. We are of the same race. If we were not from the same race, making baby together would actually give some offspring that would not be able to reproduce. And we have seen like every metis that they would say, that they would call like that, is able to reproduce to some point, unless like something shitty happened or like they do not, you know, I won't get too much into the detail. We're the same race. Screw the word race there, but that's fine. Religion and cultures of the world. I really do. I recognize what I did could have been seen as disparaging or insensitive. Yeah, okay. I like how he writes because it's a bit close to how I would approach a thing. Like if I was about to say something stupid like this, or say that I was going in these kind of thing, I would probably in that direction. So with that being said, here's the idea. Standard American, for control, no change. Southern American, colors had shorter fuses. And just like he tested if he was making some accent, how people were about to react. I love that idea. I would totally love to be able to be like picking up the information here. That would be absolutely wonderful. Colors had a shorter fuse, no shit, and became upset much quicker. They argued more and were more heated when they didn't like my scripted answer. No shit. Chinese accent. Color were more subtly annoyed. They were more microaggressive with my scripted answer. For example, they had a tendency to over-explain their questions/responses, like if I was stupid, and with a little bit of excessive crispness in their enunciation. I love that. Like, they take too much time to tell you exactly what they want you to hear. British accent. People freaking love that one. Easiest call in the world. The only thing that made these call hard was that the caller wanted to know about me, which I couldn't answer because of the script. Like, they're like, oh, you sound fancy. Because, yeah. Okay, wonderful. Hispanic accent, worst experience. Caller made a beeline, borderline to belligerent aggression. Fuse were shortest. I was often asked to transfer to an American representative who can speak English. Both black and white collar did that, which I found interesting because I thought it would just be the white collar who would do that. Not saying anything about any culture, just an interesting observation and nothing more. That's funny. Indian accent. People weren't belligerent with me like the Hispanic or Southern accent, but this was close to Chinese accent experience. However, there were subtle difference. For instance, with Chinese people understood what I said, but didn't think I would understand what they were saying. With the Indian accent, it was the other way around. They spoke quickly to me, but every time I opened my mouth, they magically couldn't understand a single word I said. I had to repeat my scripted answer many times. It didn't matter if the accent was thick or thin. There were some magic barrier in their head as to what I was saying. Canadian accent, sorry. Yeah, fudge you, that's fine. It was actually similar to the British accent. People wanted to say more word, like I was some sort of side showman. You know, when people are there in your chat and they're like, say tabarnak, things like that. So screw this. Australian accent, holy hell, people wouldn't shut up. I guess this accent made all the callers feel like sitting back in their chair and wanting to just shoot the breeze. It was like they all just completely forgot that they called in with question about the census and wanted to just talk about their life. Many a shrimp on the babby and crocodile reference from caller. Nice. Please say squirrel in French. Écureuil. Is that the challenge? Did you expect me to say squirrel? Like, screw this. I'm not dumb. Here. Eventually, my could not give a shit 3 caught up with me. The call center started doing layoff in waves as the demand for call center census agent declined, which was all according to plan and expected. Despite my high stats and numbers, I was laid off a bit earlier than expected. I actually ran into call center manager at another job a few years later. Turns out what got me on the chopping block was my voicemail routine. Again, I had to say the word exactly on the script, but I was bored and interpreted that loosely. I sang the word on the script, full on boy band singing. She told me that I was the highlight of her time on the project, but as manager, she had to fire me for that one. This is basically, that's perfect. This is basically like, there's some teacher, okay, that on paper are the worst, but you put them in a class and all the kids will learn because they love them. There's also the opposite. There's some teacher that are absolutely perfect on paper, but their class is going like hell because they don't have any trick or way to manage them. So that is somehow believable. Like, honestly, what I would have done in a situation like this, I would just have went to the employee and I would have like, could you turn it down a notch? Like, the accent are fine, but you need to fix your voicemail and we can keep you. If I really enjoy this, because just having someone doing random accent in the place while you're just like doing a call center job, honestly. But I just want to point it out. Consider this the next time you're talking to a call center so that you are not like hating someone because he does not have the same accent as you. Because yes, it might be possible that our answers are different depending on the accent of the people that is of the person that is answering to the phone. And this is to some point softly rude, softly unacceptable, I think. So while I love the idea, there's something to learn out of this thing. And honestly, yes, I agree with the fact like you go and you follow the script, but you change how you pronounce it every time. If it can make you feel better about that, he put that on the back of a social experiment, but like, that's wonderful stuff. There's a thing. Last time you called the call center was this week. We started in 30-minute queue, then put another 30-minute, then put to another minute. That makes you happy. Like, you don't have to deal with any accent. You're just like hearing that stupid elevator music, and you're like, yeah, fun stuff. What do I do now? And you're trying to find something that will not make too much noise so that you can hear the person when she's going to answer. And honestly, is there something more insulting than hearing a voicemail saying, your call is important to us. Please stay on the line while we... Like, is there anything more enraging than having like that super dumbed down voice that is like, you are important, yet not enough for us to answer? Fudge you, you know? As simple